What's up, Georgetown? My name is Shirley and I'm a sophomore from Boston, and today we're going to chat a little bit about my decision to major in business and global affairs as part of Georgetown's new joint degree program. So what is the BSBGA program? It stands for Bachelor of Science of Business and Global Affairs, and it's being jointly offered as one degree under two different schools, the McDonough School of Business and the Walsh School of Foreign Service. So these two schools have professors that, are looking at both business and public policy and how, geopolitical tensions, how all these things coalesce, and looking at issues at the intersection of these different forces. As part of the joint degree, you have access to 4 years of these signature courses that no one else except for people in the joint degree program have access to, which is really cool. There's also these fun little on-site experiential learning trips that you'll get to take. I haven't had experience with this yet, but I'm excited to in the future. So why did I choose the joint degree? I think even before I arrived at Georgetown and was still in the application process, I had to think really critically about whether to apply to the business school or the School of Foreign Service. Both those majors were interesting to me. I just went with the MSB because it seemed like it aligned more with my interests at the time. But having come to Georgetown, I think that the joint degree was a perfect culmination of what I actually wanted out of college. I think on one hand, you're getting really strong academic courses from, what the core curriculum is for the major and for Georgetown as a whole, but you also get a ton of really practical experience as part of the courses. There's a lot of project work based in, and these projects involve both quantitative analysis from the MSP, but also qualitative understanding from the SFS. So that just really appealed to me, and I think the last thing that really put it over the line for me was the idea of cohort learning. So there are 41 of us in the first cohort, and I already know them a lot better than some of my other major classes, but I think that's really special. What are some of the classes that you'll take as part of the joint degree? I think that in my head there's kind of 5 sections to it. The first section is just your good old core curriculum. For Georgetown, you have to take things like Problem of God or science, but for your major, you get to take a lot of really cool classes in the MSB like accounting and introduction to finance, and these really build your foundation to understand business. And then on the SFS side, some of your core curriculum classes will include, international trade, which is a higher level econ course, as well as the basic international relations or international law. So that builds your really strong essential classes. And then on top of that, you have 4 years of these signature courses. So last spring, I took global markets and politics, which was really interesting, especially as a lot of stuff in the news was really related to the intersection of business and public policy. This spring, I'll be taking, I think it's called global organizations and culture. And then next year, I'll be taking global operations and so forth and so on. Another thing that's really cool about the joint degree is this, what they call a thread course. So over the next 3 years, I'll be taking what's called Washington Business in the World via 1-credit classes, and so far this class has included, getting to know your other classmates in the cohort, and then also going to events. If we were on campus, we'd be going to events, that were hosted in Healy Hall, but now that it's remote, we're going to virtual events and writing about them and talking about them with our classmates, which is really cool. Another thing that's important to the joint degree is these international experiences. You'll be doing project-based work, and then throughout the semester, and then at the end of the semester of your junior spring, you'll actually fly out to that country, COVID permitting, and you'll get to have on-the-ground work as part of these 1-credit international experiences, so that's really exciting. And then the last piece to understanding what the classes are is the foreign language requirement. So as part of the SFS, you normally have to get proficiency, and this applies to all 41 students, whether you're in the business school or the School of Foreign Service originally. So I'm pursuing Mandarin. I took French in high school, but I thought that having come into college with no Mandarin experience would be really valuable for me, and it's been a blast. Just to give you a picture of the pilot cohort, so since this is the first year that Georgetown's launching this joint degree, there are 41 of us total. There's 21 from the SFS and 20 from the MSB. what's really cool is that we have so much diversity in just this like small pod. We have people from Singapore and Vietnam and the UK and Hungary and all across the US. I think some other statistics about our class is that we have 22 women and 19 men across all of us. The average GPA at Georgetown was about 3.8, and being part of that cohort is really cool because you really do get to know them much better than your other classmates at Georgetown, just because you're going through 4 years of classes together, and you'll be traveling together, and you have bonding experiences about hard projects, or it's just a really unique experience, and it really ties all of us together. Eventually, I talked to my dean my freshman fall and thought this is a program that might be of interest to me. So we got ready for the spring semester by choosing courses that both satisfied the MSB core but also would work well in the joint degree. And then in the spring I signed up for the first signature course. You basically fill out an interest form and it's a lottery system. Once you actually get into the class, throughout the spring you're taking the signature course, and then at the end of that class you apply by the last day. It's a pretty simple application. I'm sure it'll vary year to year, but it's just some essays about my interest in global markets and business and public policy, my interest in the program specifically, stuff like that. And then I also remember I attended some info sessions throughout the spring as the courses were happening to get a better sense of what this program will entail. But yeah, I applied at the end of the year and then found out I got accepted in the summer and accepted my place before September, and yeah, that was that.